Fear of failure is good. Fear of failure will keep you up at night, planning and rehearsing and going over contingencies. Fear of failure will keep you training hard.
What's going on, RicoCap family and traders? I'm going to go over one of Friday's trades that we absolutely nailed Tesla, and how these puts went almost 1,000% and how we caught that. So I'm going to kind of just go over how Tesla went for the week, how we played it, and then how we caught the downside. So as you know, the markets are selling off pretty heavily this week. And one thing that caught my eye on Tesla was that it was showing strength. So about, I would say Tuesday, I saw that it was trying to break higher out of this 219, 217 zone. Look how we kind of just pinned in between it. I'm on the hourly, of course. We opened up and kind of pinned in between it before the market continued to sell off and Tesla just gave up. Now, Wednesday is when we played the upside. Now, I saw that Tesla did hold 207, 210, and I knew that if we did get upside in the market, or a brief bounce, at least in this case, it was a brief bounce, I wanted to go with strength. And the few names that I saw was Meta, Tesla. So I saw Tesla as it's time to go. I'm going upside on Tesla. So Tesla calls. We saw at open, we absolutely rocketed on the hourly. We opened up above the 210 level, and as we start pushing above the 214, 213, this was a prior zone, of course. We got above the 214.47, and I absolutely slammed calls for the team there. And we rode that nicely up. The next 15 opened up, and if you want my exact entry, I saw the first 15 minutes. I waited to get above this zone, took out the sellers there. I knew buyers were in control. So as we opened up right here, we kind of dipped, as you can see the wick. That's where I slammed those calls, hoping and knowing we would probably get the 219 test up here, 219.68, top of this supply. And that's exactly what we got. So it was an easy trade, easily like over 100% on the contracts that we took, and we got a little bit higher, so that was even better. Very good trade on the upside. So as you can see, the next day, this was definitely on my watch list now. Tesla was very strong compared to a lot of other names in the market. So as you can see, next day we gapped up. And we were pushing higher as the market tried to bounce some more. Now we continue to push higher, and I knew, and I said the plans on my main Twitter, RicoCapital, that above 219 here should run to 224, 231, and then up here. Now that's exactly what happened, but I didn't play it, but this was a huge part in how we caught the downside for Friday. So I saw right here we created that gap, and I'm kind of highlighting it in just orange, and I'll do another highlighting down here. But I marked it in orange right here, and I saw that we kind of just gave up here. I didn't have any levels there, so all I did was get on the hourly real quick and just kind of draw that zone real quick. So top of the wick, 234.99, and then 234.2 was just the body right here. I knew that if we got above this zone, we would come to 238, and that was my initial plan for the upside. Now, I knew we still had this gap down here, so that's still in the back of my mind. But Friday was very bullish pre-market as more news came out. I saw we were approaching this, so I was like, guys, if we get above 235 up here, I'm slamming calls. Obviously, we opened up and we got that massive move down. Now, as this was my second play, so my first play was QQQ puts as the market was selling off. We slammed those, nice win on those. Now I'm looking for my second play, and I see Tesla pushing down very aggressively. And so I knew, this reminded me right here of this gap. I remember this gap right here. And I knew that if Tesla ended up losing 224 right here, we're going to eat that gap at 221, 218. Ends around, 218.90 right there. Basically inside of this zone. I knew we would. So as this candle opened up, we pushed up, and I absolutely slammed the 220 puts for Tesla expiring that day. So lottos, knowing we would come down and those puts would go in the money and would win. And that's exactly what happened. The trade was working perfectly, and look how much we completely sold off, all the way to back to our 210 level, which was the rocket level from Wednesday. So it wasn't random at all. We just retraced all the way back down, which was very rare, especially when we saw that much strength that they gave in. So two things here. First, very easy just to kind of put that supply zone up there, knowing sellers were up there. I didn't even zoom out to check if this was a legit zone or not. I was just basing it off of the Thursday's action. And if I get on the hourly, let's see if that, zoom out a little bit, and let's see if that's even valid. As you can see right here back in July, valid, how we got back to that same action, came down to it, and then obviously it acts as a resistance. So, I mean, valid. I didn't need to do all that, but I mean, yeah, as you can go back and check, you can see, all right, does that level make sense? Okay, it makes sense. So for me, I knew it would come fill that gap. So we slammed those puts, those 220 puts for $68. $68 right up here. And by the time they got down here, they were already $120, $130. And of course, we're selling mostly out. I left a runner, but I ended up selling the runner down here. And if you just held all the way down, those puts ran all the way to about $913 plus. So from $68 to $900 a contract, you could have turned 10 contracts, 10 puts, $680 all the way to $9,000 if you held that complete move. So monster day for us, monster move right there, and it was sweet. This is what I'm talking about on high conviction plays right here. This is something where I knew in the back of my mind this would happen if we got close enough to it, and especially if the market's on our side. So I took that high probability chance that it was going to happen, and we went for it. Stuck to our levels, and then of course respected our target zones. I didn't know how much this would sell off. I thought we would actually hold and then maybe reverse and kind of fizzle out, right? I did not believe we would completely just come all the way back down to the 210 level. Makes a lot of sense now, and looking at it, but usually reversals and stuff like that, you see us fill that gap right there, and then get that reversal right there. So fill the gaps, you'll see the reversals at the end of the gaps. Not all the time, obviously. This just proves that was one of the rare times it doesn't do it. So it was a really good play. So very fun, very awesome. It was a 2 for 2 day for us. We killed it, kept it simple, and stuck to our level. So very fun day for us. How we caught that was beautiful. Up here was you could have ran into the burning fire at open and shorted this knowing sellers were up there and took a chance, and of course you would have banked heavily, but we took the next best option, which would have been waiting for confirmation, and this was it right here. So knowing that 15-minute opened up right kind of at our level, push up a little bit, and I'm shorting any pop right there all the way down, and that's how you do it right there. So very easy day, very fun, very tricky week, but we absolutely navigated and killed it. So hopefully you can learn a little bit on this trade real quick for how we did it. And if you want to join the team, wap.com/RicoCapital, come learn more, get my live trade alerts. Let's have some fun and make some money. I'll see you on the next trade.